Okay, running through everything on the table that I'm bringing with me for the regional. I like to bring a lunchbox in the car or a cooler. That's a little more easy to, than a cooler. But I don't really bring that in the venue. In the venue, I want to keep one bag that's got everything in it. I can't do much smaller than this. A fanny pack, I feel it, but you just want to be able to take get your swag, multiple sleeves, maybe a binder. I always end up wanting, maybe I wear a hoodie and I want to be able to take the hoodie off. Backpack is the way to go. Your mat, obviously, something to carry your mat in. I wouldn't bring these in the venue, but this is just kind of for the weekend. I'm bringing my top deck choices. I'm on Arctina. A second choice would be Arctura. Lastly, Guardy. But this is also my contribution to the squad to test. You want to bring as many as you can, even if it's proxied, to test with the homies the night before. Obviously, you're deciding on last-minute techs. Hopefully, by Friday, you've got your deck choice sorted. But you're hopefully on last-minute techs. Into the venue again, I am bringing extra sleeves. You always want to be prepared with that. I like to leave my wallet out the night before because no one ever wants to be that guy. You get down the road and then one guy in the car is like, I left my wallet. Don't be that guy. Can't happen if you leave it with all this stuff. I like to keep track of the time, so I bring a watch. Even if I'm not doing that, it's a good reminder that, oh yeah, this is timed, this is for real, I do need to hurry. So even for the reminder, just that the clock's ticking, I think a watch is great. I like to get in the right state of mind with some music when I'm not talking to the homies, catching up on rounds, so bringing those. And then I do bring a notepad. I don't often take notes, but I like the option, and at the least for the pen, sign your match slip real quick and not need to wait on a judge or something to bring you a pen. So that's everything outside of kind of the car, clothes, blankets, stuff like that. The lunchbox, I don't prep meals or some shit like that. You definitely don't have to do that. Food is plenty easy, and you can't convince me it's much more expensive to get on the road. But I like to pack things that are hard to find, so protein for sure. Carbs and fats are going to be abundant. You can always get, gas station fruit or chips or whatever, but protein is the one that's hard to come by. So I always bring this. I might baggie it up to not have the tub. And then again, I mentioned a few of those carb sources. They're not the best, so I might bring some fruit, grapes, apples, stuff like that. And then for me, heavily abused caffeine. I like to buy them cheaper. 2 for $5 is what you're going to find at a gas station, but you can get them even cheaper. So I do that beforehand. So I'm not buying them on the road. That's water, gum. Also, I might keep in there stuff like that. List locked in at 9 p.m. Same as Greg Day. We have Xander, who made his list in the car on the way here. Tournament's in 45 minutes. And Tom may be putting texts in 45 minutes. Be a Harrison and Greg. Don't be a Tom and Xander. Are done with round 3, 2-1. Huge arc day. Way more arc than I would have thought I was going to hit. I went mirror, so Arctina. They pathed me out of the game. A path bump would have been super nice. Sharon's has been dead. So really wish I committed to Pumpkin. I was definitely on it. So far, Pumpkin for Sharon's would have been cracked, but of course I'm biased hitting Arceus stuff. And no Lost Zone yet, so hopefully I hit some Lost Zone. I don't even want to hit Lost Zone, but it would at least make the Sharon's feel like a good choice. So loss to Arctina Mirror, went horribly. Then I beat Dura, kind of beat himself, so I got fortunate there, I guess. Then another mirror. I just actually drew cards and got to... No, I went second, so I haven't won a coin flip yet, and that's so big with Arctina. It feels incredible when you win coin flips. 2-1. We got a 4th round, then lunch break. Hopefully I remember to talk about more matchups and rounds, but we'll see. With a couple more losses, I probably will forget all about this. Couple rounds after lunch. We had Tyler Matthews, unreal player, super nice dude. I think he's Chicago. He was my first loss at Orlando from like a 5-0 lead. A homie, great games. Took a tie. So that's not awesome, but then I hit kind of free. I hit Shadow Rider somehow. That's here, I guess. Judge Path, too good. Then a Lugia, Lance Bradshaw, unreal dude. It's like so good at the game and then so nice. That was a loss. And then I hit Control, Snorlax block, the Manaphy. He took 3 turns. confirmed I'm not going to like completely misplay, and then was like, yeah, this is a 0-100 matchup, so you got this. So then we had to just sit there for like 5 minutes waiting for the match slip, but we take those. So now I have like 45 minutes. Just got to win the back two, win the next two, and then it's day two. Done X2-1 before, so I'm either, a believer or just huffing that sweet, sweet copium. But it's fine. You have to. You got to believe. Ted Lasso. We'll see if I remember to do this again, but to day two, speaking it into existence. Day two is happening. All of these snakes in the wild, I'm about to lose my brain. Tell me who gon' save me. And if I place my bet. Of course, ended up completely forgetting to say the matchups. Got the retainer in. We're full of pizza and beer. Ended 5-3-1. Let's see, I lost to Lugia. I don't know, the last two I beat was Kyogre and Control. Block, Snorlax. 5-3-1, that's my third 5-3-1 in a row. I wouldn't have played something different. Arctina was cool. If I was doing the Cup tomorrow, I would switch, though. Probably going to do anything but the Cup tomorrow. We'll see. Baywatch moment, bro. The League Cup. Are you regretting not doing the League Cup? Fucking Lake Michigan. Find our ladies some nature. Wash the losses off. Thriving. I am back from Milwaukee. I ended up getting 251st. Another 5-3-1. Fifth 5-3-1 of the season. I put 252nd at first, then someone got DQ'd or something, bumped up to 251st. Skill diff. Here's the list I played. Arctina. I don't regret it with Ben getting third at the event. I was super close to a lot of the changes he made. I think some difference makers were the fourth research. So I didn't play Avery. I landed on Sharon's. Really liked the 1 Serena and 3 Boss. I think that worked out for me. He had Dunsparce. He did not have Skwovet. He had 4th Research. No Sharon's or Avery. 4th Research and Manaphy. I think 4th Research is a difference maker. For me, the Manaphy didn't really make a difference. I was able to beat the Kyogre I hit. But 4th Research does feel important in retrospect, especially if you're not going to play shoes. When you go first, the deck is like you're in such a good spot when you go first with Arc Energy. You should be able to control the game, except on your second turn. One of the best supporters you've got is Judge with only 3 research. If you miss research there, yes, you can disrupt them, but it's equally likely you disrupt yourself looking for only one of the 3 V-stars. Maybe you had to use an Ultra Ball turn 1, so those aren't outs either. So research on turn 2 is pretty important to even get to play the game. Sometimes I would Judge on my second turn and then just hit nothing, and then end the turn with a Trinity Charge or an Abyss Seeking. When I could have done damage, I could have progressed my board state and done damage. So I think that's a change I should have stuck with. Should have stayed on the 4 research or found room for more shoes. But yeah, stoked about Dunsparce. I got there kind of without them. I really like that. That's a huge difference maker in the Lugia matchup. We'll get into the matchups right here. You'll see the Lugia is an L. That was it played out exactly how I wanted, almost, as far as they go. Dunsparce forces them to, Stonejourner's not an option. Basic Urshifu V is really not an option. Not an efficient attacker at all. And then One Blow, is left as their only tool to take knockouts for their fighting types. And that's really expensive. So then the next best option for them is T-Tar with, if you've got a V-Guard, 4 single strike energies, which is expensive. And so provided you have a KO and you can have 2 attackers to get that KO, whether it be a Arceus with 3 basic energies in the choice belt and the Giratina, preferably, I guess, the Giratina on the bench. So even if they have a V-Guard, the Giratina comes up, takes the knockout. T-Tar is really expensive to do again. Then you Judge Path them with the knockout. Yes, they have Gift, but they've got to find multiple urns. and sometimes they got to scrap 1 or 2 to even play the game. I'd rather make the expensive T-Tars be like their only viable option. So when I played Lance here with the Dunsparce, he just went Lugias virtually both games the whole time. He had to go just 2-shot with Lugias, which again was like the point of Dunsparce. So now they're going 2 shots. I've got the Oko potential. I should be able to boss chops when I need to, or just sweep through with the Giratina V-Star. But despite forcing him to play that way, going the 2-shot Lugias, I just didn't play the game. I judge path myself into nothing one of the games, and then the other game, a little bit of the same into his late game T-Tar. So one game he went all 2-shot Lugias, the next game 2-shot Lugias into an ending T-Tar. So that was the L. It kind of sucks to tech for Lugia in my mind and hit it and it play out the way I wanted it to play, but then just fall short through the deck's own inconsistencies. Locke and some other Arctinas, what they played was a Flannery or a Vacuum for a Path Bump. I would have loved a Path Bump. I wish I landed on Pumpkin. I was close to that card. Flannery would have been sick, but I don't think I ever would have gotten there. My other 2 losses were to the Mirror, and it came down to a Path Bump. One guy played it, one did not. So Gregory did not play a Path Bump, and he just drew a little hotter than me in the Mirror, won the coin flip. That is what it is. The other loss, he had Path Bump, I did not. So both games back-to-back, it was win, loss, win. Loss, win, loss. The 2 that I lost, he just eventually hit the Path Bump. And that's the thing. It doesn't have to be searchable. He had the Vacuum. And it's like at some point, whenever he hits it, he's going to get to bump, Starbirth, and then repath. And that's exactly how it played out. He Starbirthed in all three games of the series. I Starbirthed 0. I also went 2 for 9 on these coin flips. That's something with Arceus, that's not an excuse. That's just merit to a different deck. Is some of these decks have a lot more play when you lose coin flips. Gardevoir and Lost Zone, Arceus, not so much. You lose a coin flip plus whiff an Arceus or Energy, it's over. But you win a coin flip, you hit Arc Energy, heavily favored. I chose to take that risk, so can't be too upset about it. So Mirrors, I lost to no. Path Bump, I hit 2 Dura, 1 Dura. That gentleman kind of beat himself. I got to really play a game and win, and then another game he just followed what needed to stay on board as an attacker. I beat a Mirror. Tyler Matthews, incredible player. I think he's in that top 16 race or close. That went pretty good. We got to go to a game 3, and I don't know. I felt I could have got there. He felt he could have got there. On the turn 3 of time, we had just both taken a 2-prize knockout. I killed his Dragonite. He killed a Arceus, so we're 4-4. He's got a thick deck. He has no Kyogre, and I still had Sharon's left, so I'd like to think I could get there. Shadow Rider, little scary for a moment with the Shadow Mist, and I've got a handful of stadiums and special energy, but that's a good one. Judge Path. We talked about Lance. Control is free if you don't misplay. Their only line is to get the Pulling Currents Manaphy and then like multiple bosses, but if you Judge Path out the Rotom hands that they get from Instant Charge, you just charge up 2 attackers. You've got a Shred and a V-Star. You can freely alternate between them, and you just hope to keep all Pokemon out of the hand from then on. And he scooped to me really quickly. We played 1 game for 2 minutes, and then we waited for a match slip. He said, "Yeah, this is a 0-100 if you know how to play it." So then I lost to that Mirror again. No Path Bump killed me, and then a Kyogre on the back. He Rad Ninja'd under Path, got a DPL, and then the second game he just didn't play it, Judge Path, and he just didn't play. So that's good for me. Ended 5-3-1. After round 7, it was really a bummer to be in a double win and in position, and then that loss, and then it's got to win to 5-3-1. Just win for points. Points is good. I'm very happy with this. But another one, feeling really, really close to day 2. Is a bit of a bummer. I wanted to show there's Ben's list. Same energy counts cut off, but it doesn't matter. So again, I think the 4 research is a huge difference maker. I think for me, I would have liked this list, but Manaphy being a pumpkin, I think would have been perfect for me. And in retrospect, the 60 I should have played. Lastly, just a little season recap here. Tragic. I've got. Let me see if my face is too big. That's now the 5th 5-3-1. We started the season right after my worst performance being 4-3-2 at Secaucus. I tried to run back my success of Lycanroc VMAX the season prior, where I got 37th or whatever with it. But I didn't hit the matchups I wanted. But then Ark Manley getting 5-3-1 at Nats, my first Nats, is incredible. I was so happy with this. And that 5-3-1 felt a little different than these other ones. That was, starting the season strong. Then two great finishes, Peoria and Baltimore being top 128 and top 64. Feeling really, really strong. Then the 5-3-1 curse starts. I whiffed points at Orlando. I went 5-0 to 5-3-1. Heartbreaking. Just hit 3 or 4 of those like hard Lugia counters in a row and then low rolled them, and it is what it is. Took them all to a series, and then I just could not break this 5-3-1 curse. Thankfully, I only whiffed points at one. That was Orlando. These others, I at least got points. Knoxville, Fort Wayne. Those just weren't the decks for the tournament. So Lugia was the one to break that, and then Arctina was those two, I think, extremely realistic. I don't get 5-3-1. Fort Wayne and Knoxville, I felt lucky to get 5-3-1. It was just a fun deck that I really liked playing. The turn 2, like E-Rope, Pika, kill a Lugia felt awesome. When you do get a checkmate with Vulpix, felt awesome. I was, bullying Gudras. I loved it. Just so I don't regret that, but I would have, of course, loved a day. Just one day 2 in here would have really, really been great for my invite, because now as it stands, I haven't been finishing great locally. I've got like some top 16s and top 8s, but I've got to get top 128 at NAIC plus 2 league challenge, a win in a top 4 at league challenges, or just top 64 at NAIC. So it may be time to put down the Arc memes. Gonna go full try hard with some buddies, testing Guardy reversal and some other things like that. If Arctura Umbreon looks like a hard counter to Guardy, maybe that's on the radar. The Arc Keys is of course a consideration. Arctina. It's gonna be tough to not pick up those decks, and I'll be testing them for sure, but untested format for the West, I think Guardy looks probably the smartest for me to get a top 64. It just depends how testing goes. That's the season. There's probably going to be a little bit less Pokemon next year, so would love to close it out with an invite. Not going to Japan, but just to do it, man. No more cups probably, so unfortunately I can't win that Vulpix mat after the back-to-back Vulpix points. Is a little bit of a bummer. But that's all good. That's all good. Very motivated. Going to finish that top 64 NAIC. Gonna just speak that into existence. A lot of testing. If I see anyone at NAIC, connect, say hi. Milwaukee was so awesome for that. And we'll see if I, feel like doing this again for NAIC. But a lot of just putting my thoughts down in video form. Watch later. I think it's cool for the journey, the memories. If anyone watched that, I appreciate you. Let's get that invite. We're going to get that invite.